Hello there and welcome back to Building Boys, and I have issue 21 of Hachette's Build the Dalek. In this one, we'll be continuing with some detailing of the console we've been building. It's a summon and nothing. We're just sort of decorating it, but I mean, at least it's adding some detail to this. There really isn't much to do. I'll be honest with you, from what I'm looking at, I say that might be famous last words, and this might be a lot more difficult than I'm expecting it to be. We've got some HP and GP screws in this one, some pipes and some widgets and whatnot, but other than that, nothing really spectacular. At the end of this one, we'll be talking about a much-loved fantasy sci-fi game show that's a lot better than the adventure game. Stick around and we'll be talking about that one. You probably know which one I'm talking about, but it was the daddy of sci-fi fantasy game shows when I was a kid, and I'd love to see it come back. But if you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. Helps the channel massively, and we love having you around for the journey. But without further ado, let's get this one open. Let's get this one built. Okay, so let's have a look what we get inside issue 21. So in this one here, we have whatever that's going to be. It's 3 pieces there. We have, this feels like pipes. It's 1 pipe. Now that's solid. That's not a flexi pipe at all. I thought these were going to be flexible pipes, and they're not. I think that's a shame. That's a shame. I'd like that to be a rubber pipe, but okay. There's another one, and then we have our GP screws, and there should also be our HP screws. That's it. So that's everything we get inside this one. Now I will say this. As I said, I've seen people decorating their center consoles, have been painting them, and I see why now, because they are so, I mean, it's just so dark, so the whole thing is just black on black. So all this detail we're putting in, I worry you're not going to see it. I really hope there's a light inside the Dalek, so when we open up the chest you can see all this detailing, because if not, it's just going to get lost. Because I mean, even with good light at the moment, it's black on black on black, and you can't really get anything else out of it. So I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. Right, so what we're using first is this piece here, and this piece here. And what we're going to do is this is going to sit into the center there. So we're going to pop that in there. What are they calling this? The cylindrical attachment. So there's no technical name to this. It's just the cylindrical attachment. Fair enough. And then these piece will sit on top of here, and it's pushed to fit, and there's little lugs, so we have to line those up and get this in. Now those are tiny, my eyes are crap, so this is going to take a few shots, I think. There we go. So that's what we should now be looking like on that piece. So that's that one done. And then we have to put this to the actual console itself. Let's bring that up. Yeah, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just black. So I completely understand when people are adding colours to theirs, because just anything to make it really stand out. So this piece here, there's 4 holes here. It's going to slot into there. Yeah, I really hope there's a light above this when we build the rest of our Dalek. I'll try and line this up and ain't having it. There we go. Let's push to fit. So let's make sure that's pushed down nice. So that's that part done. Okay. Yep, so there's a cylindrical attachment in place. Next we're going to take our pipes, and they're going to go in, and they're going to be held in with a GP and a HP screw, just to make things really confusing. So one hole is bigger than the other, as you can see there. We've got one hole bigger than the other. I'm hoping that matches up. Now I can already see here there'll be another cylindrical piece going in there, so that'll be interesting. Right, so this is going to go in here like so. So that was just, one's bigger than the other, so that's the small part. Are these different? Are these different pieces? Because they're not just fitting straight in. Let's have a look. Yes, they are. One is an A and one is a B. So are they marked A and B? Nope. So let's try and error it. Alright. So that's the big, that's the small. Again, black into black with my old ass eyes is not the easiest thing to see. Nope. Let's try this one again. No, I can't see it. I'm going to have to get my eyes right into this. Right, so that is both of those in. Now what I did was I held it up and let the light shine through the back of it so I could see exactly where the holes were going, because again, it's so dark. I mean, there's no colour to this at all. So it's not the easiest thing to bloody see when you're trying to put these things in. So holding up and letting the light shine through made life a lot easier. Now we're going to put one big screw in it and one small screw in each of these. Now the larger of the screws is going to go in the front section and the smaller is going to go in the back. So hopefully these don't fall out as I'm doing this. So there we go. So we're going to put the larger in here. Let's get one in. Just one. So that ain't going anywhere. So I'll do the other one as well whilst we're here. And this one is going to go here. So those are the two large HPs in. Now we're going to pop the GPs in, which go in the smaller of the holes. And they're going to go here. Oop. One. And then one more. That's going to go just in here. Whoop. Something tells me that when we have the second wall on, these things are going to be a bloody nightmare to do because you're not going to have the room to get your hands in. But that's what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, if we come to it. There we go. So that's those pipes now screwed in. So that's what we've added to this. We've got these two pipes here, and we've added this console here. Again, I'm hoping there's a light inside the thing that shines down on all this, but you're just not going to see it. Let's have a chat. So that's that one done. Again, it's fiddly because it's the darkness of it that I'm finding fiddly. Again, my eyes aren't great. They're not. I actually need new glasses. I need a new prescription. But black against black with black screws is a bit brutal. Particularly when they're kind of pushed far away and you can't really... But holding up and seeing the light, bam, straight in, there was no problem at all. So if you're having problems, do that, shine the light through it, you can see where it is, bosh, straight in. In the next one, I'm a little bit annoyed by this, if I'm honest with you. In the next one, we're getting the same again. So we're getting the same stuff that we got in issue 20. Well, we're getting... No, we're not. We're getting the same stuff we got in issue... Part of what we got in this one and part of what we got in 20. Now, we're going to build those and not do anything with them. Now, this doesn't affect me because I've got the next pack, but that's a bit annoying. Because I think in the one after that, you get the second wall. So I think we're going to build two of those things with no wall for them to go. So I think in the next one, we're literally building another cylinder section and popping it in the other side. I think that's going to be it. And putting a couple of screws in. But it's what it is. It's the nature of the beast. And we have to obey it, don't we? So that's the way it is. If you are just sticking around with the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. We're doing all right, aren't we? Look, I've got Cyril there doing his thing. I've named him Cyril. That's Cyril doing his thing inside his control center there. I'm looking forward to seeing this control center complete. And it's heft, man. I mean, this is just at the top of it. So this is a big old model. that's all from me with regards to build instructions. If you stick around for our sci-fi talk, we are talking about the hands down greatest sci-fi fantasy game show ever produced in Britain and shown on TV, and it's this one. Knightmare. Knightmare was the best, right? Knightmare was so good. And it was hard, right? So the concept of Knightmare was quite simple. It was like a spin on Dungeons and Dragons, where there'd be four of you, four Dungeoneers. And one of you would put a helmet on that you couldn't see out of. And you would be the one that was walking through the dungeon, and your three mates would be guiding you via monitors. And using green screen technology, they would put this around. And the kids in the studio would guide the Dungeoneer through the dungeon. You know, take a step left, take a step right, walk forwards, walk back, amongst all manner of horrible things that would try and befall you. Here's an example of some of the horrible things that would happen to some of these kids if they weren't quick enough. What was mad about Knightmare was how goddamn hard it was. Right? They weren't easing up on you. It was brutal. Most people didn't win, right? It was that simple. If you won Knightmare, you must have been the daddy of the playground, right? You must have had the ultimate level of respect, because there was no prize to Knightmare either, right? It wasn't like, and for conquering the dungeon, you could win a week for 4 in Centre Parks. It was none of that crap. It was like, respect. That's what you get. And here's a shield. Go. You get to wave and walk away. But respect is what you want for beating Knightmare. It was amazing. Presented by Traegard, who was great. So the dungeon master was Traegard, and it was such a big. He played the role so good. Bring it back, man. Honestly, there's a generation that would love this. Bring it back. Knightmare is so bloody good. I think the next generation would love it. And with technology now, you could do amazing things with the dungeon. You just could. Bring it back. Bring it back. It was so good. And this is the thing. It was like the game show everyone wanted to go on. So even though like Funhouse, you could win, a Bon Tempe organ and a Blake 7 kit bag and a Rally chopper. On Knightmare, you would just win the respect of your peers. But I can only imagine what happened to the kids that died in like the first 10 minutes, because it happened. There were kids that, I literally didn't get past the first 2 rooms and just dropped dead. And it's like, oh, mate, you got to go back to school on Monday. That's going to be terrible. I can remember my mates as well. There was always this argument about who was going to wear the bucket on their head. And it's like, I wouldn't want to do that. I want to be one of the kids in the studio. I wouldn't want to wear the bucket on your head. It's like you don't see anything. You're just in the dark for, I don't know. I don't know how long it took to film an episode of Knightmare. I would imagine quite a while. And I kind of feel sorry for the kid with the bucket on their head, because to everyone else, they're in, they're in, you're in a forest, or you're in a tomb surrounded by blades, whereas the reality with the kids in a studio in Lewisham with a bucket on his head. But it was badass, man. And then they brought in like a dragon you could ride as well, and everyone's like, man, I've got to go on this show. But it was essential viewing, man. Knightmare was like, it was the show. They did choose your own adventure books. There were sponsorships in cereal and things like that. But when I was a kid, man, Knightmare was the show. Everybody wanted to be on Knightmare, and everyone watched Knightmare. And compared to the adventure game, yeah, no, Knightmare is how you do a show. Adventure game is how you don't do a show. But that said, we do have a contender for a sci-fi show worse than the adventure game when it comes to sci-fi game shows. And that'll be the next one. It's bloody terrible. And again, it's one of these things that, how did this happen? But we'll talk about all that in the next one. That's all from me. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us massively. You can contact us by email at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. Love to hear from you. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.